1. Mark makes Lauren an offer. On Mother's Day, Lauren and Peter are preparing to celebrate with the Beals. Lauren attempts to sell a car before the meal, but when a customer asks to test drive a vehicle, she refuses, still spooked by the recent theft incident. Lauren is supported by Max, and she invites her dad to the family lunch in response. Peter organises a surprise for Lauren, but the Mother's Day lunch goes wrong when Max falls out with everyone and leaves. But with Max away, Mark has a business proposition for Lauren, promising to give her luxury cars to sell. Lauren accepts, unaware of Mark's dodgy motives. 2. Bea hatches a new plan. Linda's Mother's Day goes from bad to worse when she is forced to invite Bea to her and Elaine's celebrations at the Vic. It isn't long before Elaine and Bea clash over money, and Bea makes herself scarce. Returning to number 18, Bea attempts to apply for a credit card, but she is swiftly rejected, so she decides to get one in Honey's name instead. Will Honey discover Bea's illegal activity? 3. Jean's back. Jean returns to Walford after staying with Lynn for a couple of months, but tension continues with Zoe as the pair still don't see eye to eye on Jasmine. But Jean has a change of heart after hearing Zoe getting emotional on a call with Kat. After some encouragement from Alfie, Jean reaches out to Zoe and the pair finally make amends. 4. Lauren gets a shock. After accepting Mark's offer, Lauren gets off to a good start by selling one of his classic cars. Max has his doubts about the deal, but Lauren insists that the new cars are legit. But later, Callum visits the car lot to tell Lauren that the classic car from her mugging has been found, and a number of other high-value vehicles have gone missing. Realizing that something is seriously wrong, Lauren goes to confront Mark. But how will he explain this? 5. Sandra arrives in Walford. Denise and Kim go on the defensive when they get word that a woman called Sandra is asking questions about Jasmine. But the situation changes as Sandra is revealed to be the adoptive mother of Zoe's son Josh. Sandra tells Kim and Denise about her history with Josh and Jasmine, then gets ready to leave Albert Square, but Josh has already arrived and is looking for her. 6. Bea gets a win. Billy, Janet and Will return to the square, with Honey staying away a bit longer to look after her Aunt Caroline. However, it's not the welcome back they expected, and Bea is embarrassed when the Mitchells realise that she has eaten all the food in their house while staying there. Bea is determined to get a job by the end of the day, and she succeeds in her mission as she bags a roll at McClunkey's before her fraudulent credit card arrives. 7. Suki is stunned. Vinny decides to finally tell his mum about Penny's pregnancy, but Suki shuts down the conversation before he can broach the subject. It isn't long before Suki discovers the truth, though, as Jack puts his foot in it by inviting the family over for lunch to discuss the baby. How will Suki react to this news? 8. Josh rejects Zoe. Josh and Sandra join Denise and Kim for a drink in the Albert, with Josh desperate for answers about his twin sister Jasmine. But Denise makes the mistake of mentioning Zoe, and Josh storms out after insisting he doesn't want a relationship with his biological mum. Denise and Kim later tell Patrick about their surprise meeting, and Patrick is upset about Josh leaving, as it means he has lost yet another connection to Anthony. However, Sandra later calls Denise, who calls round to her flat to speak to Josh about Jasmine. 9. Lauren and Peter's problems continue. Lauren and Peter meet up with a woman whose baby is also visually impaired. She discusses a specialist nursery with the couple, but Lauren and Peter are shocked when they realise what this would cost. The pair ask each of their families for some money, but can they get the cash they need? 10. Billy gets suspicious of Bea. Billy has an eye-opening chat with Harvey and starts to grow concerned about Bea's obsession with his family as a result. Later, Billy rages at Bea for overstepping the mark when she gets Will a Saturday job at Harry's barn. Bea is left upset by this encounter, but will Billy's suspicions continue? 11. Penny makes things clear. Suki doesn't react well to Vinny's big news, and she comes to blows with him and Penny over the pregnancy. Penny stands up for herself, though, and tells Suki that her and Vinny will be having their baby, with or without her blessing. Will Suki have a change of heart? 12. Josh comes to a decision. Denise and Kim reach out to Patrick and encourage him to write his grandson Josh a letter about his life story. Patrick agrees, so the pair go back to Sandra to deliver it. Josh is encouraged to read the letter and later returns to Walford to tell Denise and Kim that he would like to meet the Truman family next week. But Josh gets distracted when Oscar catches his eye. Could this be the start of a dangerous love triangle? 13. Linda makes a discovery. Max, having been evicted from number 45, gets into another row with Linda. Later in the week, he makes an effort with her and apologizes for his actions, and forgiving Linda asks Max to spend the day with her and Annie as a result. Linda remarks that Max is a good dad, and the pair continue to grow closer, especially when Max supports Linda after she is rejected by Johnny in the square. Elaine tells Linda that Max is in the Albert having a drink, so Linda heads over to find him, but she makes a shocking discovery. What does she see?